everybody. Welcome to Live from the Pink Couch. I'm Cheryl Grace, and we are here once again, season 4, and this is our very last episode number 6 for this season. Yeah. Of course, I am not live from the Pink Couch. I am on vacation. I don't work June, July, and August. And this was one of the last things that I needed to do was to make sure I finished with our hashtag next level tribe members and getting them fully on board for their career journey. So right now we have with us Vicky, who is the rising star, and Deshira, who is our career 2.0 star. And I want to say thank you for being consistent and being here on time every single episode. This is a Cheryl's Pink Couch tip that I want to start off with right from the start. You guys, how you show up, no matter what's going on in your life, matters. When you don't show up at work and you fail to let people know what's going on, you cause confusion, you cause disruption, and it's just not cool. So I want to say thank you to both of you tribe members for being professionals and being here. It's very much appreciated. So, live from the Pink Couch, what we do is we coach individuals through any of their career opportunities and help them understand how to get there. So, these last 5 weeks, including this week, the 6th week, has been all about helping our Career 2.0 star, Deshira, who is about to retire in a few months, help her get to her next level of fabulosity by becoming a certified public accountant. She has been with the U.S. Air Force for 20 years and has taken her first CPA exam, and she's really excited about what the future holds for her. We also have Vicky, who is our rising star. So Vicky's been working for about 20 years. She has 10 years with her current company, and the last year and a half, she has been in a new role. So Vicky wants to be a director and a thought leader in the HR space. And so we've been helping her prepare for that journey over the course of our last few sessions. So, ladies, we've reached the end of the path, but it's just the beginning for you. So, I want to make sure that this episode, we do a little bit of a recap and get a better understanding about where you were when we first started and where you are or where you feel you are now along that path. So, we're going to start with you, Deshira. Tell us what you felt about this quest, your pink elephant goal, which is to earn between 80 to $100,000 a year
Yeah.
as a certified public accountant. What were your thoughts then, and what are you thinking now?
I would definitely have to say before I started this show, I had many pathways. I just didn't know what direction to go. Now I feel like my pathways have narrowed down. Um, and I have like a guide, a reference. I have this to refer back to. I have a bunch of knowledge that I've gained in order to get me to where I want to be. So I'm very excited about just moving forward and pressing on with my journey.
I'm excited for you. So, just to recap what we've done over the course of the 6 weeks with you, we really wanted to make sure that you were prepared for that next level because you have a lot of experience in the Air Force doing different things. And you were a little bit concerned that they were a little disparate and wouldn't firm up and position you as an expert to
Mhm.
become a certified public accountant. So we put you with an executive coach, uh, and she was able to help you with your resume. Talk us through the experience and talk us through what you feel is different about your resume now versus then.
I will be honest and transparent. Like I did not know how to use this platform, LinkedIn. Again, it started from school when I was in my bachelor's program. I had to create it for a course, and then again, I had someone else update it. But then after speaking with Kelly, I understand the whole thing now, so I'm able to go back in and just update it and make any kind of changes that I need to moving forward. I do like all the advice that she gave me. The fact that I can still contact her even afterwards and get her services if I choose to.
That's good. That you should take advantage of that. Kelly's rates are not cheap. They generally are, they start at about $800.
Hmm.
And so one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that you all are exposed to experts and executive coaches, this is my way of giving back to individuals every year who may not otherwise have the investment to invest in themselves, but they have the desire. And so I think it's wonderful. Your resume, I saw it. It looks really good. So
Thank
tell
you.
me what changes you made to it that you're most proud of.
The summary, it sounds so different from what I had. Understanding the bullet points and making that impact. I forgot what the acronym was, but it's basically telling how I do did it, how I did the job, what certain awards I won, um, and then I think the last part was just explaining a little bit of my duties within each job. So um, and the
I,
skills.
I'm looking at it now, and it looks really good. So your summary. That's why I said, now, was this before? Because it's really good. It says, as a high performing accountant with a Master of Accountancy, MACC degree, and an eclectic and successful 20 plus year military industry career, including my most recent role as a resource management specialist, I am actively seeking a challenging financial role within a dynamic and expanding organization or government institution. My strength lies in my ability to meticulously analyze system requirements and workflow procedures, lies my expertise to identify discrepancies and uncover opportunities for improvement. I possess a keen eye for detail and a strategic mindset, allowing me to streamline processes and enhance operational efficiency. Oh, girl, you sound so professional. I am eager to bring my skills, expertise, and dedication to a new opportunity where I can significantly impact the organization's financial performance and contribute to its continued success and growth. That's your summary statement. Did you have a summary statement before?
No, I think I had something really, really basic. I want to say it even started out with just words because, again, I'm the type of person when it comes to new platforms, social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all that, I don't really know how to operate those things until I'm told or I really do research about it. So I was thankful for the things that she taught me, even with the there was a tag or something. I know she gave me directions on that as far as letting others know when I have updated the my profile. I can now show whoever I'm following, or if they're following me, they can see that I updated my profile. I didn't know that. There was little things that I learned from that last session with her.
Yeah, LinkedIn is amazing. And a lot
Mhm.
of people just barely skim the surface of how to use LinkedIn, how to network with LinkedIn, um, how to stay connected with individuals. And like you said, alert them when new things are happening about you. And it's also important to be engaged with others on LinkedIn, not just to put your resume up there or update your profile and let it go. Stay engaged with people who are CPAs or who are accountants or who are, some of the individuals that you identified, which brings me to your homework assignment. You were going to try to connect with folks that you had identified on LinkedIn. And I guess I'm wondering if you were able to do that.
Not on LinkedIn, but there is one lady that I do follow. Her name is Kelly Pope. I don't think she had time for me. I did message her. She's very I want to say, I don't know, I think she's a busy woman. So she probably won't see it until like years later, hopefully, or when we're not on well, I'm not on the show. But I did try to reach out to her, but the other two that I did get in touch with, they were on Facebook in my CPA support group.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. And I know that you had talked to them a couple of times, or you had mentioned that you were going to talk to them. So I guess, you know, what are we doing next for you? What's next, Shira?
So I plan on to keep studying. I want to take my next exam by the end of July.
When by the end of July? What's the date? Because you know I'm all about the dates. Because if you lock it in and then schedule it, your brain will work toward that date. So do you have a date?
After the 25th, because they put me in charge of change of command. So that's a huge commitment, making sure I get the old commander out and then we're having a new commander come in. So hopefully, I'm just going to say the 29th, the 30th, 29th, 30th.
When does the change of command happen? And congratulations. Let's do a happy dance, happy dance. It sounds like that's a big responsibility they gave for you. Happy
It
dance.
is. It will. She wants hers on the 25th, which is a Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm probably going to be at work at like 6, just to make sure everything runs smooth.
Okay, so the 25th and then 4 days after that. So
Mhm.
how much work do you have to do leading up to, the change in command that may keep you from studying? Like, are you
So
ready?
I honestly had to start back in March. They gave me this job, and then starting next week, we have to we have a checklist and we have to start going through it. But we have already been ahead of the game, so it should flow easily. It just depends on the weather, um, stuff like that. I'm just hoping everything just transition into a smooth change of command for the new person that's coming in.
Okay, so all of the prep work has pretty much been done, is what I hear you saying.
Right.
And so you still have an opportunity to work studying for the exam into your
Yes.
plan.
Because most of it's
Yeah.
done when I'm at work. We do the practices, but that's only like a day or two before, so everybody can have it fresh on their brain. And then just that day on the 25th, which will be the first morning, and then I'm done.
Okay. All
First
right.
thing in the morning.
So when we first started, you had a couple of fears about moving forward.
Mhm.
Um, do you have those same fears? What are your fears now? Talk us through what that looks like for you.
No, like I said, I felt like I had so many paths. I didn't know what to do. I was kind of afraid of the unknown. But now that I know, especially about the LinkedIn, and it's not someone actually reading my profile, it's more of a AI computer type system thing. Um, I just want to make sure that I have my resume updated before I choose the job that I want. And then being able to have this already in place, my resume, and then going to my new commander, which she'll be the one who will approve me for, it's called the skill bridge. And that's where they'll let me out for 6 months and I can work, well, up to 6 months. I can work for someone to get those skills. And I can just provide that plan to her because I've already done the legwork being on the show. So um, it just makes me feel so much better. Like it helped me.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. So when you said AI reads LinkedIn, you mean AI reads your resume?
Yes.
Because people read LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. You're gonna take the exam by July 29th, and you are going to share this brand spanking new resume with your new commander.
Yes.
Okay. And seek to find a role where you'll be able to get on the job experience while you're still employed with the US Air Force, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, in layman's terms, also, I think it's important for people out there who may not be in the military sometimes when you are working for a company, when you're in corporate America, they allow you to shadow individuals within the company to get and gain additional experience and have a a stronger foundation for your expertise. This sounds like this is the military's, or at least the U.S. Air Force's, um, response in having a similar program.
Yeah.
So anytime, and this is for everybody, Cheryl's Pink Pouch tip, anytime you are offered an opportunity that is paid for by your employer, or mandated by your employer, or seriously encouraged by your employer, that will get you additional knowledge, please take advantage of it. Don't be afraid to take advantage of it. Go through a checklist and check off all of the things that you need to do to be ready for that assignment.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you are ready, Shira, for your assignment.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, Shira is a mom of two two girls, and are the girls gone for the summer now?
Yes, they are with my parents, so
Okay.
due to
All
them,
right.
yeah, it's lovely.
So the girls are gone, so you got nothing but runway to study.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Well, we are cheering for you.
you.
Please keep me posted. Messenger me and let me know after you take the next step, so that we just can kind of, that we're cheering you on, but just keep us posted on anything. If you have any questions, do feel free to ask me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and ask me anything.
Thank you for everything. Like, I really appreciate this. Even my castmates, I learned from them. So I thank y'all.
Yeah, and Vicky is an HR professional. She's been doing this work. So, Vicky, is there any advice that you want to offer to Deshira from your HR perspective?
She's there. I would just say be open to continuous learning, and she's already headed down that path. So just keep on that straight and narrow. Be open to who's around you, be open to new experiences, and be open to continuing to learn. And again, you're like a sponge. I can just hear it just in the conversations that you've had here on the pink couch. You're a sponge taking everything in. That's a great quality to have.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deshira, curiosity is going to take you far.
Okay.
Ask questions, ask for clarity, be curious. And if you don't know something, don't wait for somebody to teach it to you. Go out and explore it. The universe that we exist in now, with Google and AI and all of those things, curiosity can be fed rapidly. And your curiosity, if you stay on the cutting edge of staying curious about what's next for you, I guarantee you, you're going to go and shoot light years beyond anybody else. All righty. So thank you, Vicky, for those words of wisdom, our rising star. So Vicky, your goal is to be a thought leader and a HR director, earning about $150,000 a year as a director at your current company. Did I get that right? That's your pink elephant goal?
It is. It is.
All right. So talk to me about the experience, where you were then, where you are now, and let's dive in.
So I've got some notes that I want to write. So when we first came on and you walked us through the questioning of drilling down to our pink elephant goal, the more questions you asked, the more exciting and scarier it got with each question, because it really was about drilling down to kind of find clarity on what it is that you want. And so once we had that pink elephant goal drafted, and through each session, I've gone from why should it be me to why shouldn't it be me? I don't work with complacency, so I don't want to paint myself as someone who's lax at work. When I do work, I put my all into it. But after going through all these sessions and interacting with all of you, I'm sitting up a little straighter in my chair and I'm approaching my work with more gusto. And again, not that I wasn't before, but looking at my work through a new lens. I'm looking at what am I doing today that will be beneficial to me in my next role? What kind of things can I raise my hand for? What kind of work can I do? What kind of accomplishments can I endeavor to be a viable candidate for that next role? So there's always this notion of, think about the role that you want. And before, I was very much in the present, as we all should be, but there still should be an eye on the prize. So while I'm taking in my work daily and being present in the work that I do, there is still a part of me looking for what's going to happen for me down the road. So I've got my eyes kind of in both places, on the ball and on the hoop.
I love that. I love that that's basketball, right? I love that basketball analogy. Um, so I am really glad to hear you talk about how important it is for you to have your eye on the ball, but also be looking down the court to what's coming up next. Um, when we started, you indicated you had just gotten into a job about a year ago. And one of the couch tips that I shared then was best time to start thinking about your next job is as you're moving into your current job. The reason that is because as you go through your current role, you're going to be learning. And it's also an opportunity to identify all of the things you should be learning so that you're prepared for that next role. So we don't want you all waiting until you get to like, oh, I'm burned out. I've been here 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And now I'm ready to think about what next looks like, only to discover you have all of these gaps that exist between where you are and where you want to be. You want to make sure that you kind of know what you need to make that next level to step up that rung. And so you can narrow those gaps while you're in the role. So I'm assuming that's what you mean when you talk about keeping your eye on the future and while you're working really hard and doing a great job in the present.
Absolutely. And, having the support of the folks that I work with has been instrumental as well. That's been a tremendous amount of support. When I told my supervisor about this course, she was very interested in what I was working on, what I was doing. And she's like, well, of course you can do this. That's an attainable goal for you. You absolutely can do that. So once I declared that to her, the smile on her face was just infectious. She was happy to hear it, happy to hear me declare it. So I think as part of her development plan is to help develop me to get to that next level. So just once you kind of put it out there and say it out loud to people that can assist with that, it's amazing what can kind of come into your space.
Okay, I need you to say that louder for the people in the back of the room.
Once you declare it and say it out loud, it's amazing who can come into your life to help support that. It really has been crazy. It's been crazy. I mean, again, declaring it on episode 1 and opening my eyes and looking for things that were already there, but just realizing, oh, wait a minute, that person's over there, they can help. Or this article was here, it can help. Just once my eyes were opened and I was actually looking, it's amazing what kind of came into my view.
I'm so glad you said that, Vicki, and thank you for being transparent about that. What you're describing is what we have in our brain called the reticular activating system, RAS. The RAS part of our brain, once we put something out there or we step into the awareness of what we want, what we're looking for, your brain starts to notice all of the opportunities that are related to that. So, for example, if you're about to have a baby and you're looking for you think you're going to need a stroller, suddenly you start noticing strollers all over the place. Now, women have had babies walking past you for years, but you weren't focused on strollers. And now you see state of the art strollers, twin strollers, high rise strollers, strollers that have been blinged out. You're noticing all of these strollers because your brain is filtering into your brain information that is important to you. That's why, as part of manifesting your pink elephant goals, it's really important to get clarity, like you said, on what they are, and to also for you to recognize what it is you want and also to ask for help. And when you ask for help, the universe starts delivering it to you. And that's why you're noticing things that you probably would not have otherwise noticed had you not put it in writing. And always, always put your goals in writing, you all. Put it in writing, ask for what you want, and then ask to see who can help you. So I'm glad you explained RAS without knowing what RAS. Well, maybe you knew what RAS
I
was,
did not.
but that's what RAS is. So we gave you two coaches. You had Alicia, who was talking you through what to say with your manager, and when and how to say it. You also had Tazeen. Tell me how you found them helpful.
With Alicia, I got to spend some time with her off the couch. She and I got to connect one-on-one, and she really walked me through how to sell myself and how to help me keep track of the things that I'm doing. She talked about some trackers that she uses for work and how to use resources internally at my company to kind of help me shape my story and help sell it. So again, when you're in the environment day to day, you don't always think about the resources that are readily available to you within your own company. So she just talked to me about some things that are readily available that I could certainly use to help make my pitch and to help sell me, and to ensure that the things that I'm working on are the things that the company wants me to be working on. Kind of help me connect those dots. So that was great. And then with Tazeen, I hadn't thought about, doing any assignments or raising my hand for anything in the org development, learning and development space. So she put that idea into my head. I talked to you all about coaching certifications and, what that could look like for me. And it would be beneficial, I believe, to dabble in, get my hands and get involved in some level of learning and development to help me understand how coaching could fit into my career and how it could help me in my current role.
Great. Okay. I like both aspects of it, and I wish we had time to give everybody a couple of different coaching perspectives, because different coaches bring different perspectives to an equation. And for anybody in corporate America, shadowing or short-term assignments are excellent ways of getting exposure and experience in a particular area. I also think working and I raised it on one of our last sessions, but I didn't ask you, do you have an ERG, that's special, an employee resource group? Do you have an employee resource group, and the acronym is ERG, that represents African Americans at your company?
Not a formal ERG. We have not a formal.
Hey,
not a
girl, y'all
formal.
better hire me as a consultant. But okay, so you guys don't have one.
Correct. Not a formalized one. We've got a couple of Teams channels that we have, but we don't have established ERGs. It's on the agenda for the year, but we don't have them in place just yet.
How can you help bring that to light?
I've got a pretty good in with our VP of HR and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, so I'm sure she'd welcome some additional perspectives on how to get those up and going. There's a group of folks within my company who are eager to see them come to fruition as well. Just probably a matter of kind of putting some additional thoughts into how it would and how it could work, because we are a complex organization. So how could we put these things together?
When I worked in corporate America, I founded the African American Employee Resource Group. It was non-existent. before we started it, me and a couple of co-founders, and I co-led Nielsen. That was the company that I worked for, Women in Nielsen, which is all of the women in the company, their ERG. And that was a global ERG. So we have 5,000 plus members located all over the world. And we met on a regular basis with a cadence. We did it via Zoom, even before the whole pandemic caused Zoom to like come to the forefront. We did it with our intranet service, and we held these meetings regularly. I will tell you, it is incredibly empowering to hear women or other Blacks or African Americans or Latinas or, persons with disabilities or veterans. All of those are the types of employee resource groups that companies have. And there's something empowering about like-minded people, like experienced people coming together and talking about challenges that they may be having in their workplace or opportunities that the workplace could better utilize in order to help build the business. A lot of companies use, what do they call them? Not employee resource groups, but business resource groups that they use to help empower the business. I'll give an example. One that I heard of was Target had a business resource group that was comprised of African Americans, and they took this group out to a Target store, and they asked everyone to step to the left if they use the products in this aisle for Black hair care, purchase them from Target, and to step to the right if they use products from this aisle from Target, if they use the cosmetics. And none of the employees moved. And so the guy was like, okay, I don't think you heard me. Step to the left. If you use the beauty hair care products, step to the right. If you use the makeup or cosmetics from Target, now these are people who had an incentive to use the product, because every time you purchase something, that goes toward Target's bottom line, of course, but they didn't move. And what they did was they shared why they weren't buying their products. These particular employees were not buying products from Target. And Target shaped a whole campaign around that, and revitalized their aisles for people of color, for Black hair care. 'Cause you remember we used to be in the corner in the booth in the back in the dark. Like all our hair care products used to be like, you had to blow
One
the dust
facing
off
one
the
shelf.
shelves. Yes, yes. And so ERGs or BRGs have helped with that. So I do encourage you to get involved with that process, because that's something, especially as you want to move into the thought leadership space, that you'll be able to share as part of your experience what it's like starting, from scratch with the company BRG or ERG when they haven't existed before. And you never know down the line where that passion or interest could take you. So take a look at that. So you also want to be thought leader. How's that working for you? Because we had a couple of assignments that were specifically targeted to doing that.
So my very first writing assignment was I had a couple of topics to pick from, and you challenged me to go write something. And so I did write something. My point of view was more like a journal entry. So then your challenge to me was, okay, go back and think about who your audience would be, could be, should be. So as I began thinking about my audience, I have an idea of who I want to write to. I shared that with you. So my thought was to share with other HR folks. But then I began to think about what I would write about. And so that prompted me to rethink this coaching opportunity, still want to pursue that, but I want to pursue it from the perspective of coaching myself, developing myself, and then be able to relay that to other HR business partners and sharing how that experience can help me help others. So at this point, my plan is I talked about doing the Strengths Finder Gallup coaching session. So that's still on task, but I took Strength Finders myself a while back. And it's one of those things where I did it and I put it on the shelf. So I'm taking it off the shelf now. I want to go through all of the items that they challenge you to go through so I can speak to it articulately, understand what it is that I'm talking about to other people. If I'm going to pitch this to my supervisor, I better have a good idea of what the program entails from my own perspective. So we've got development days coming up at my company pretty soon. And I'm always encouraging others to get their development plans in place for their supervisors. Well, I'm taking me into the equation this time around, and I'm going to take advantage of the development days and put my development plan together with my Strengths Finder assessment and the coaching tools that are in there for me, and share them with my boss and talk about that journey on LinkedIn. So thinking about being a thought leader, talking about my career development journey, how that's impacted me and what I want to give back to others.
Love it. I absolutely love it. For those of you who don't know what a professional development plan is, because I know, Destiny, you're new to the whole process, right? But it is an opportunity for you to vocalize and share with the person that you report to what's next for you, and to be crystal clear about the fact that you do want to grow. And a lot of folks don't take advantage of that opportunity, or they don't go into it knowing what they want or having given it a lot of thought. So when you want to grow, it's always a great idea if you are being managed by a manager who feels confident with their own abilities. And I'm giving you that caveat for a reason, to share what your growth desires are. You got to be mindful of whether or not you're working with that kind of a manager, because not all managers are created equal. And you will learn that as you go throughout your career. Some managers are going to smile and beam at you like Vicky's did when she said, this is what I want. And the manager said, I'm behind you 100%. This is what we can do. Other managers may not be. But here's a Cheryl's Pink House tip. You and only you are the sole person responsible for the success of your career trajectory. If you find yourself, and I have had them, they're not pleasant to deal with. If you find yourself with a manager who is no bueno and wishes you no bueno, you don't let that stop you from getting what you want. And sometimes you have to leave in order to grow. So you have to go in order to grow. But that's your choice, which is another Cheryl's Pink Pouch tip. You always have a choice as to whether or not you stay or whether you go in your career. It's a difficult choice, but it is a choice. Any questions about that? Anybody got any questions about how do you know if you go or stay or grow, or any questions about that? That's a big one in your career. Everybody clear on that? No questions? Okay. And not everybody is going to treat you like a rising star, even if you are. You have to find value in your own star. You have to find value in who you are and not be afraid to share that out. Okay. So Vicki, we're wishing you much luck with this promotion come next May. Hopefully you've got it all plotted out in your calendar. So you've got some of these small bites. So how do we eat a pink elephant? How do we eat that pink elephant goal of yours? We eat it by breaking it into small bites and scheduling those small bites so that you're taking sequential steps one at a time to get you where you need to be by May 23rd, 2024. I believe it's the date we set for you.
Wow, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I don't forget. Okay. Destiny,
Hello.
hello. Welcome. I
Hi.
was scared you weren't gonna join us for a minute. I'm like, where is
Sorry
Destiny?
about that. Yeah, I was running a little late, but I'm here.
Wonderful. So Destiny is our newbie, and she is a recent college graduate. She graduated just a few weeks ago with a degree in international business. And she's kind of been torn between what she wants to do because, frankly, a lot of graduates come out of school not quite sure what their next looks like. And so that's one of the reasons I was so excited to include Destiny on our show, because I think it's really important for folks to know you can be a success. You don't necessarily start out that way, you plan it. And one of the ways of doing that is by deciding where you want to go, who you want to work with, who you're willing to try things with. So, Destiny, some of your earlier homework assignments was, first of all, just identifying companies that you wanted to work at, identifying real estate agencies that you thought you would want to work at. And we paired you up with someone who's actually working in real estate. Were you and Camille ever able to connect outside of the series?
Yes, we actually connected this morning.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah, and
Okay, better late than never.
yeah, I know. So we connected this morning, and hence why I actually got a lot of my homework done today. So yeah, she was a really, really big help. She's gonna review my introductory email that I sent, that I mentioned in the last episode, and she said she'll provide me feedback with that. So that's great. So I'm just looking out for that.
Oh, good. So, Destiny, in the beginning, you weren't sure what you wanted to do. You were pretty sure you thought entrepreneurship was the direction you wanted to go, but you also identified some corporations that you thought might
Mhm.
be a great place for you to start to get experience. Tell me where you are with that. Are you still looking at real estate solidly? Are you thinking of other types of career options? Like, where are you now?
So right now I am still into the real estate. I think this coaching program has definitely opened my eyes to take risk and be bold. And so yeah, I have think that I kind of decided that I wanted to go towards the corporation route just for now. Because I think that'll allow me to gain more experience without having to solely do it completely on my own, which is another thing this show has taught me. That because I kind of came into the show thinking, oh, I want this goal, but I kind of hesitated a little bit because I was like, well, it's my goal. I don't think anybody's going to be able to help me. But then I said, boy, was I wrong. No, you're right. You absolutely need people to help you and guide you to do the right things, especially people who are more experienced and things like that can give you that kind of outside input in. So yeah, but yeah, real estate is something that I'm still in, and I actually enrolled in the real estate courses yesterday. So yeah, I can't wait to get excited. I'm really excited, and my goal for that to get my license is August 20th because that's when I start my master's program. So yeah, I
Hey,
want
so
to.
wait, you just said a whole lot. You said a
Sorry, I'm
whole
just
lot, Destiny. I
excited.
gotta back this
The
up, back
last
this up.
episode, I just got excited. I just wanted to lay it all out.
No, this is great. Okay. So
Yeah.
I heard you say you started a master's program.
Yes, I decided to stay at the same university and continue my master's there. So I'll be pursuing that for the next 2 years, starting in August.
Okay. So you're going back to school in August,
Yes.
but you're also going to go after your real estate license.
Yes, I'm doing that currently now in the summer before I start the program in August, because August is when I start the master's program.
Okay.
So,
So
meantime,
just so I'm clear.
mhm.
Okay. So you're working on getting the license. And so you're going to work on passing the exam. And the exam, you're going to take the real estate exam in Florida. Is that where you're
Yes,
taking it? So the real estate exam in Southern Florida, you're going to take that in August.
yes, the
Okay.
beginning.
All right. Wonderful. 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 First of all, let's just do a happy dance that you got enrolled in the real estate,
Yes. Thank you.
exam program, right? So that you got a way to study for it. All right. So the plan then, help me understand, is you're getting your real estate license, but you're going back to school. Are you going to sell real estate while you're in school?
That is the plan. I want to try to challenge myself to do school because the master's program is a little different. This go round, I will only be having to attend class twice a week instead of 4 days out of the week. So it's more flexible to my schedule. So I feel like I can balance, selling real estate and doing my master's program since it's a little more leverage for me during the week.
I love it. Okay. So you're having a dual plan. You got a plan and you got a backup plan.
Yeah.
I love that. What
Yeah.
is your master's going to be in?
That's going to be in business administration.
Okay. So
Mhm.
what's the difference between international business and business administration?
So what I noticed when taking my international business classes is I have changed my major from entrepreneurship to just business administration. Then I changed it to international business. So just kind of comparing the classes, international business focuses more global, like on the global markets. And then business administration is going to give me the basic foundations of leadership and management. So taking more leadership and management type of classes, like dialogue classes and things like that.
Got it. That sounds
Mhm.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And so some of the companies that you wrote down on your list that you were interested in perhaps working for, will you be doing internships, or like how are you going to get work experience while you're still in school in
Internship.
addition to
It would be
internship?
mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I do recommend trying LinkedIn to network with
Mhm,
individuals. We talked about that as
mhm.
well. Um, were you able to find people on LinkedIn that
I
you
found
had
2.
to
I found 2
to?
people, yes, from the companies that I looked on, and then I found the real estate agent, then I also found them on in LinkedIn, so I contacted 2, but I have not heard a response yet because I did send them today.
That's
So,
okay. That's okay. You
yeah.
did it. Staying in action is important, you all. Staying in action. So you did very good. You found them. You found out how to use LinkedIn as that. I'm telling
Mhm.
y'all, LinkedIn is like having, 100 bazillion jillion people in your in your living room or your bedroom, wherever you are when you're typing on your computer, um, literally at your fingertips that you can um, network with. I'm really glad that you found them.
Mhm.
What else would you like to share with us?
That is really it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna continue taking those risks and being bold, jumping right into it. The show has definitely taught me because I know we were talking last episode about feedback, so I'm gonna continue being open to feedback, being humble, and just continuing to grow, like you said.
Wonderful. Okay, I think you all are pretty well positioned. But are there any questions? They may not have to do with your journey. They may have to do with work-life balance. They may just whatever. Are there any questions that you have that I can answer while you got me?
I have a question on getting clarity and maintaining focus. So I have a tendency to have an interest in a lot of different things and making little progress in all those different things. How did you get to a point of drilling down and got clear about this program, the Fabulosity platform that you have? How did you find clarity with that? How did you maintain focus and get clarity on that and stay focused?
Yeah, so I think the way I would answer that is by saying which one of these two. Like, did y'all ever used to watch Sesame Street? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is kind of the same, right? So there's that song, but which one of these things, thing one or thing two, is going to get you closer by process of elimination to where you think you want to be next? And then that's the one you focus on right now, right? So if I have to choose between writing my resume today or answering an email, which one of these is going to get me closer to where I want to be? Well, the answer depends on who you're answering the email to. If answering the email is to the CEO of a company who's reached out to you, or an HR person who's reached out to you expressing interest in you joining the company, well, that gets your attention for that day. And the resume can wait, right? But if they're asking you for the resume, then your focus is on getting that resume updated so you can answer the email. It's constantly an either or, either or. Like, how are you doing that? And I also make a list of priorities. Like, these are things that I want to accomplish in 2023. This is the timeline by when I would love to accomplish it. So if I'm writing down, I want to accomplish, 5 things, and they're all really big things. If you all recall, I made you stay focused on one pink elephant goal, because it's a big one. Your career, what you want to do next, is a big one. Now, you may have like 3 or 4 other goals that you have in mind too, but I will tell you, multitasking does not work. Research studies have proven that people who multitask tend to not accomplish as much as people who focus on one task at a time. Finish that task, go to the next thing. Finish that task, go to the next thing. At the very least, if you must multitask, make sure you are allocating specific time frames to one task at a time. So if the Shira is studying for her CPA, and she's also cooking dinner, and she's also, I don't know, organizing something for a flag salute at a ceremony, like, all of those things should not be entered into in the same time frame. So if all of those things are um, trying to be done in the same allotted hour, something's gonna slip and fall between the cracks. Dinner's gonna burn, or the kids aren't gonna get fed, or the job for the flag ceremony the next day, and all the people you had lined up, like, you forgot to call somebody to tell them to fill in for somebody else. Something's going to get lost. So instead, even if you just allocate for 20 minutes, I'm only going to focus on the flag ceremony. 20 minutes, I'm gonna cook y'all dinner. It's gonna be some warmed up hamburger and hot dogs, but you're gonna eat, right? Give those 20 minutes first of your undivided attention. That's how I do it, Vicky, is I identify what am I gonna work on only right now? Because when I'm going bouncing back and forth, back and forth, I got so many things going on, it is really hard to do. Is that helpful?
Super helpful. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good question, especially if you have kids, if you have families, that work-life balance is no joke. And your kids want attention. If you're married, your spouse wants attention. Your boss wants you to finish projects, and that sometimes means you got to stay up until midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. It takes balance. And I've not met a woman yet who hasn't had to figure out a way to manage work-life balance. Even though in 2023, unfortunately, most of all of the other life stuff falls on our plate as women. That's a great question. I hope that answer was helpful.
It was, Cheryl. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a
Anybody
question.
else got a question? Yay, Desire, what's up?
So, I know we talk about go or grow, grow or go, grow
Go or
and
grow. Go to
um,
grow.
so with the state of the economy, sometimes it's in the back of my mind to stay and hold off on going and growing. Just because I want to be stable. am I wrong for maybe putting it off for 1 or 2 years, or should I just go and grow?
I love this question because especially when the country is going through a recession or a depression or any kind of an economic setback, people tend to just hunker down and stay. Girl, you better stay at that good government job or good military job and get them benefits. That's what they used to tell us when I was growing up, get a job at the post office. They never told me that, but that's what a lot of people were told, right? Um, but what you have to realize is everybody's been told that. Like, stay where you are and be safe. So that means there are job opportunities out there that a lot of people aren't even going after because they're trying to play it safe.
Mhm.
That is a time to take a risk and to be bold. So don't leave your job without another job. And I know that that might not work for you because you have to choose, right? You have to choose whether I'm going to stay or go.
Right.
So that's why now should be the time you're trying to line up everything so that you do have a place that you can step into seamlessly after your time in the military ends. So there's no right or wrong answer, but I will say that playing it safe isn't always the way to kind of escalate or accelerate your growth. But it depends on how much risk you want to take. I know you're a mom with 2 kids. So that's why I say do whatever you can right now while the government is paying you and accelerate that. So if you 4 months left, be moving with lightning speed. Now, let me understand, you have to declare though to the um armed services whether or not you're going to stay after the set date, after September, right?
Yes, it's almost like it's a mind game because I feel like this duty station, they are willing to help you get to your next level of promotion. And they've expressed that to me. But then like every time we get promotion numbers, they get lower and lower because of the economy. And then when I hit the button in September, they still can promote me. And then in May, I would find out whether or not I would have to do another 2 years or just completely get out. So I mean the money is good, but it's just it makes you go back and forth. Like, do I want to start a whole new life over right now, or do I want to just add on to my years of service and keep going and then do this all over again in maybe 2 years, like start my path to get out?
Yeah. I would say make a plan
Hmm.
and stick with it.
Hmm.
And that's why you got a resume now. You're taking the exam. Now the exam you said is 18 months. It takes you have 18 months to complete it,
Yes.
right? So and you're planning on completing it next May if we did the 18 months, I think, right?
Mhm.
So, you have to calculate that time so that you're moving seamlessly from one to the other. But girl, if you just want to like burst out.
Yeah.
That's where the faith comes into these pink elephant goals. You got to lean into your faith. You have a plan, you ask people for help, you talk to people, you find out what jobs are out there, you interview, and maybe somebody can set something up. Like, yeah, if you're going to be leaving the company in May of 2024, we can keep a job, we can hold a job for you or whatever. You gotta take a little bit of a risk there,
Mhm.
um, and try it. Scary stuff.
It is.
Yeah. Um, and I find that when you step out of your comfort zone, that's when you tend to grow the most.
True.
But it
I've
is
heard that.
scary. It is scary. There's a book called Do It Scared, and it talks about the 7 archetypes of fear that people show up as. 7 types of archetypes of fear. Some people um act from like a procrastinator's perspective because they fear that things aren't going to be perfect. some people are people pleasers. And so that's how they adapt to fear. So there are 7 types of fear. There's a test that you can take, a quiz, an assessment quiz that you can take that doingitscared.com/assessment, I think is what it is. And it will help you identify what kind of archetype of fear you're operating from the most. And it'll tell you whether or not you're a procrastinator or a people pleaser or whatever one of the other 5 are. And then it gives you a way to, like, okay, if this is kind of person you are, if this is the level of fear you operate from, this is how you can do it scared, how you can reframe it, right? So that's a book worth getting. But even if you don't get the book, it's a great assessment just to take to see what kind of fear archetype you are. It's a good question, Shira.
Thanks for answering
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay. All right. Well, ladies, you got my number. You know, if you need me, you can reach out to me. It's been a pleasure spending these 6 weeks with you and watching you grow, watching your resumes become stronger, watching your confidence get boosted, watching you take a leap of faith and reach out to people, strangers, right? With confidence. It's really a fabulous thing to watch. And I wish you all well, my little hashtag next level tribe. And I am wishing you well on your journey and your career trajectory. All I ask is that if anybody ever asks you for help, you pay it forward. That's all I ask. Because the reason we're here is because when I was asking people for help when I first started out, nobody would help me. And so all I'm asking for anybody who's ever gone through this series is that if anybody reaches out to you, when you are at a level where you can help people, help them. Please help them. Okay? All right, y'all quiet. Yeah, we did. Thank you. Yes, it is. Gonna miss you guys, and I will see you.
All right.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Check out the progression of all of our participants at Cheryl's channel of Fabulosity on YouTube, or learn more about the coaching programs and services we offer at IamCherylGrace.com. This has been a Powerful Penny LLC Pink Elephant production.